Well, good afternoon, Carl.
Hello, Michael. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. We're getting like later stages of summer here, probably tipping into early fall by the time this episode goes out because we do record a little ways in
Hmm.
advance. And just really disliking the DC area. I'm a very big advocate. This is my hometown territory, but DC is amazing to visit. The monuments, we have amazing museums that are free. It is incredible. Don't come in July and August though. Like just
Right,
don't
right, right.
don't come here in July and August.
Yeah,
It's hot and mosquito-y, and they build it on a swamp, so it's horrible humidity. Like just it's the
yeah.
spring and the fall, amazing time to come to DC. Spring and the fall, highly
Yeah.
recommend. Don't come in July and August.
It it turns out there's never a good time to come to Park City. The summers are terrible, the winters are bad, spring and fall. Just I would recommend going to Colorado or Idaho or Montana.
So this is what the locals say to keep all of us tourists out
Yeah,
of your
yeah.
trails and
I
your
mean, this like
and
summer is
opportunity.
off the charts, so beautiful right now. So, but don't tell anyone.
Big secret.
Exactly. What are we talking about?
So for today's episode, I wanted to get your perspective on a really interesting kind of conversation theme that cropped up to me. I'll give a shout out to Steph Bogan of Limitless. She had kind of queued this up for me with a post she put out on LinkedIn a few weeks ago. You and I'm probably not going to do justice to the way that she framed it. We see a number of advisors out there who say they're feeling a little burned out. Where
Hmm.
you're like, I've been doing the thing. It's a lot of hours. Like I make good income. Like it's a lot of hours. Serving clients can be emotionally draining. It's day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. It basically doesn't stop. It never stops because we're in ongoing relationships and they've always got things going on. And we have to do a certain number of meetings to maintain the relationship. So sometimes there's even a chain to the desk. This business has become like a small prison to me.
Hmm.
And the interesting thing actually that Steph framed up as I think she's hearing and I've heard as well, like just it's not a mass crisis or anything. Like more advisors talking about whether they're feeling a little burned out on just same routine with same clients, wash, rinse, repeat over and over, and you can't really do anything different because your client base is full and you got to serve them. Just the interesting question that Steph raised is are you really feeling burned out in your practice or are you getting bored out?
Hmm.
Like is it a burnout thing? Right, and some medical folks out there probably have a much better definition than I do, but when I mean I think of burnout, I think of actual like physiological stress, physical body reactions, that the body is fatigued on the level of stress,
Hmm.
which is very different than I just feel like I'm stuck in this routine with the same clients doing the same thing over and over again. And I feel like I have to do something different to mix it up or shake it up because I'm bored. And like if this is all it's going to be, maybe I'm just going to sell this whole practice and get out of here and do something different. Not literally because I'm burned out on the practice, because I'm bored out on the practice and this just isn't that fun and interesting and challenging anymore. Like I built a successful advisory firm. I got clients, they pay me well, it makes
Hmm.
money. I won capitalism.
Right, right.
Like now and people will pay me well for my firm. Like now what? What's next? Because there is to me just a fascinating phenomenon. We accrue clients. We all have a natural capacity. There's only so many hours in the day, week, month of the year. Eventually you will hit capacity. And at that point, either you've got a system of like hiring advisors and transferring clients and doing all that stuff, or like your clients, these are the folks you're gonna be hanging out with for the rest of your career. Hope you enjoy them.
Right, right, right. Yeah,
So
it's a super interesting question.
yeah, I guess I don't even know if I'm framing my question as well
Yeah.
this well. Like I don't know, do you? Do you think bored out is a thing? I mean, does this resonate for you? Is burned out versus bored out a meaningful distinction to make as we think about this challenge?
Yeah, look, I think so. I was trying to figure out how I would draw a sketch of this. I was just trying to like
Oh,
I was just trying to get a handle on like what, and it feels to me like there's a like a pie chart, and some part of the pie chart is like interesting and fun. Like there's a slice that's like you've got some allocation of your
okay.
work life. You've got some allocation of your work life that's meant to be allocated to interesting and fun. Like that's
Yeah.
important to you. For some people, this is not important. Like we know plenty of people. I always talk about my favorite friend Kevin, who's been sitting in the same desk. Has four ties that are all maroon, makes a ton of money. Is a great financial planner, and he only does two things. He's consistent process and rapid response to problems. He's been doing that for 28 years. He loves it. And I kind of want to be one of those people, but I'm not. And many of us are not. So there's this allocation of interesting and fun and creative. And I actually had this conversation recently. One of the people that came on the retreats we do here in Park City, he was very creative and got into this business a little bit kind of by accident, like
Like a
some
lot
of
of
us
us.
do.
Yep.
Yeah. Then he got his master's in tax, and he's kind of felt
Yeah.
oh
All right.
yeah,
I'm liking it more and more as this story goes.
he's felt a little increasingly a little bit more and more trapped.
Yeah. Okay.
More and more trapped in this, like, it doesn't feel very creative to me. It's just this thing. I'm just gonna I can And I remember saying, like, if I have to explain asset allocation one more time, do you know what I mean? Like I just, you know what I mean? Like that feeling.
Yeah.
Um, and so we spent a bunch of time talking about, okay, if you've got this allocation of interesting and fun, there's a bunch of ways to deal with it. Like we know advisors, we talk about them on the show that get their interesting and fun stuff outside of their jobs. That's fine. I'm thinking of like uh people who ride their bikes a ton or people who do interesting things outside their job.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like our profession in particular, just we are very goal oriented, achievement oriented people. I think we have a highly disproportionate number of like marathon runners and
Right,
black
right,
belts and mountain climbers of the seven great peaks. Like, just there's
right, right.
disproportionately high percentage of that in the advisor world, I find, right? Like,
Yeah, so you
have goal, set
yeah.
goal, pursue goal, feels good, dopamine hit, new goal.
Yeah, so you set like you were that some at some point maybe like all of that extra time, energy, all of that extra capital, energy, time, money, attention was totally devoted to the business. The business got there and you're like, now what? Well, you either like, grow the business or maybe you say that's too boring and you could devote that. We could almost think of it too as like prey drive. I'm thinking of because we just got this hunting dog. Like what do you do to keep that prey drive going? Okay, you could go climb mountains, you could ride your bike. But what was interesting with this advisor this friend that I was talking to, who's an advisor in Colorado, he, we were like, well, could you make it more fun? And we talked about the idea of like, is there a way to make this more creative, more interesting, more fun for you? Because it turns out like we have permission to do all sorts of crazy things. Do you know what I mean? Like, I,
Your
I
your
I've heard,
practice, I guess not everyone, because some of us are employee models, but like you,
yeah,
there's a lot of career autonomy about how you want to do this.
yeah, yeah. I mean, we've heard stories about people who only take meetings while hiking. I've got a friend who lives on a fly fishing community all summer and has his clients come up and meet with him up there. But this particular advisor, we were talking about the idea of like if you go to a, a photographer or an artist website and almost always says like work or portfolio, and you click on it, you see pictures of the art.
Right.
And I started thinking this way probably 20 years ago. I was like, what would be on if you clicked on portfolio on my site, what would be there? And it would be the stories of these humans, right? That's the portfolio. So I was like, what if every client became an art project in your mind? what if, and this advisor was like, man, I love the idea. What if I spent a day, I set aside a day for each client a year, and that day started with breakfast and ended with dinner if they want to, and we can go do whatever you want. Like, so anyway, I'm just saying, like, what if you maybe you need to get out of the business. Maybe it's just too non-creative for you, but at least now, what if you made it more creative? What if there were ways to make it more creative? So either A, take the prey drive, take the gold drive and use it somewhere else. B, make it, are there ways to make it more interesting? Because it's a darn good business, and jumping out of it because you're bored, you just want to be clear about, like, have you jumped out of the pan and into the fire? Because then you got a new problem. I'll let
Yeah,
you respond to that whole pile of stuff I just threw at you.
I mean, I really like the conversation, the idea that first of all, if you're well, so I let me take the other side of this for a moment. The other version I see of this same effect are advisors who try to avoid the risk of being bored out in the business because they change it every 12 to 24.
Stop. I'm only laughing because that I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about changing things and doing new projects and yeah.
Right. And I mean, just it's the other side of the same thing. If you, this is going to sound more passive than I intended. Like if you let the business control you, then you're stuck in a cycle and it feels boring because it's calling the shots and now it's like forming a prison around you. Or no, I'm going to bust out of the prison and keep it fresh, which is why every year I come up with a new and different thing to do to take the business in an utterly completely different direction. Because if I don't, heaven forbid, we might just get good at the thing that we've been doing all along and then do it in a repeatable manner. Like, you know what happens next? People make system and process, and that stuff's boring.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And and so I just it fascinated me because once Steph sort of put it out there, like burned out or bored out, I'm like I feel like I see two versions of sort of the threat of boredom. You know, the business is steering, and then it becomes the boring prison that I just want to bust out of and sell, or I take control of it and I'm reinventing the business every 12 to 24 months because it totally keeps it fresh and fun and creative for me. And, you know, that may or may not always be ideal for the clients. That may or may not always be ideal for the team, unless you've got a team that really likes to reinvent the wheel. But a lot of us hire team to delegate the tasky. I mean, like if you're wired that way, you tend to hire team to delegate the tasky stuff too. And like people who are really good at the tasky things like to be assigned the tasks and do the workflow and run the process, which is great for consistency in the firm and not great when you blow up their process every 12 to 24 months by reinventing the wheel, which means you get staff turnover and potential client turnover and other difficulties that crop up.
Yeah, completely. I mean, I want to take that your side too, just for a second. Like, what's wrong with being a little bored? Like, that's the other thing to just realize. Like, man, a great cash flow business that allows you a bunch of freedom. Weird, like, and that,
Well,
and
because
again, I'm saying this with deep empathy because I couldn't stomach that. But meaning, like, I was always changing things and always like I just wanted to live a life of a series of projects that had a beginning and an end date. But the business is, it, maybe it's maybe the fact that it's boring allows you the freedom to go do some other things on top of it or around it. And don't maybe these businesses are supposed to be systemic and boring and steady like Kevin's business, like maybe And maybe that should be viewed as this amazing thing that allows you to, what an incredible place to be. That's the other thing I have to keep reminding myself. What an incredible place to have a job that you like 51% of the time at least. You enjoy working with these humans. It's a little boring, but my gosh, you can design your lifestyle how you want. Like that's an incredible place to be. So there's that side, and then there's the other side of like, yeah, it feels like a prison. I get both of those.
Yeah, I'm trying to think and sort of be tactical and practical, like really for those of us who are wired this way, right? And like I can raise my hand and own it. I've co-founded 5 businesses in 10 years. Like I definitely have a version of this. But and like not to say my way is the right way and others are wrong. But like I at least I've been very intentional that if I'm feeling that urge to create and the business is in a good place, I need to go create something else. I need to not blow up the good thing that I already created. For better or worse, I think that's why I've ended up with multiple businesses. And if you kind of look at my history, like a new one pops out about every 2 to 3 years, because that's about how long it takes for me to like feel like I'm in a good place with the thing that I was doing and be like, feeling good about this. I think it's time to make something new and do something different and quote unquote shake it up. I mean, that's not the script that runs in my head. Hey, let's like this is working, let's go break it. But it's just like an antsiness of okay, I've done the thing and it feels like it's in a good place. I'm now picking up my head, I can breathe again. So what's next? Got to scan the horizon, got to find something else uh to go tackle next, right? New goal to tackle. So
Yeah,
I guess
I love
I don't
that.
know if my version's the right one, but I think the at
Yep.
least one thing I would reflect is, you know, it's one thing if you need to feed your drive around fun, creativity, activity, new goals, something new. Be mindful of how it shows up for your business and the rest of
Right.
your
Right.
rest of your team, right? Whether that's
Right.
how much energy is good to direct it back into the business, because it can usually use some. What's too much to direct back in the business? If that's too much, are you going to direct it elsewhere to a new thing or a new business? Which you can do. Make sure your old business can function without you before you go make the new one, or you're going to drop things. But do you want to direct it to a new business endeavor? Do you want to direct it to a personal goal? Or like, cool, your business is a great place. You need a challenge. I hear there are 7 giant mountain peaks on 7 continents. Go climb it.
Right.
Half joking, half serious. Like,
Right.
need a really
Right.
good challenge? Like, go for it. It'll even pull you out of the office for weeks or months at a time. Your staff will probably be thrilled.
Yeah. No, I love that. That was the other thing we talked about with this advisor was like, okay, if you were thinking about just getting out of the business, what other options are there? Could you find somebody else to run the business and you only do the few things you love and then go over here and write a book or start a podcast or start a foundation that does more financial literacy or coach that I remember thinking this a lot. Like if if there are things I could do in the business that just either A, produce no revenue or actually cost me money, like just changing for change's sake. I have a long list of things that I could do that would cost me money that are way more fun than deciding to install a new CRM. Do you know what I mean? Like way more fun. So I started thinking about that, always making this comparison of like, wait, you can either mess with the CRM or you can coach your daughter's soccer team. Ah, or you can mess with the CRM or you can go ride your bike. Ah, one of them actually costs you less. Riding your bike will actually cost you less. So I love like thinking about those trade-offs too.
Well, and this now is like we're down the road. This is reminding me your comment of like just sell the business or what else can you do? So I like had a conversation a couple of years ago. Advised from what we'll call him Jerry, 'cause it's just easier to have a name. So it's like Jerry was in a version of this and was going to sell the practice, like just didn't want to do it anymore, not fun anymore, not interesting anymore. Like, Went out to build a wealth advisory business, build $1 million practice. It's great. Ready for new challenge. And I'd said to him, like, I mean, if you want to free up time to do other things, like you don't have to completely sell the business. You could like hire another advisor, spend the next year or two transitioning your clients to them. If you want to learn how to do that well, that'll be like your cool challenge thing for the next 12 to 24 months. Like figure out how to transition your clients well and then free up a whole bunch of capacity for whatever you want to do next. If it's, grow the business next level or make a new business or whatever. And so I still remember what stuck to me about this that prompted my memory. The whole conversation with him was I feel like I feel chained to the business because I can't hand off the clients. They're all attached to me.
Mm, mm.
I said, dude, your literal alternative is to sell the business, which means 100% of the clients are going to someone else. Like the only
Right.
way you're selling this thing is you're going to successfully transition every single client to a
Yeah.
buyer.
Right. Right.
So if you sell it, you're going to transition every client anyways. Maybe you should just keep it and transition it to someone who works for you and continue to profit from the business. If you actually like the opportunity to build the business, if it's literally just like the daily beat with clients that's getting you. And I think that's what it was for Jerry. Like it wasn't that the wealth management business was boring. It's that I'm not excited to have these be the 100 people I'm going to hang out with every year for the next 20 years. Like that's what was dragging him down. And he couldn't imagine handing off the clients to anyone else, but he was totally ready to sell the business. That would
Yeah.
have meant handing off all the clients anyways.
It's interesting that we get locked into those. That's why I think that's really valuable just to pause and go, I'm super bored, must get out.
Yeah,
And just pause and say, okay, there's an entire range of options here. Like, what are the third, fourth, fifth, sixth option that I haven't even thought of yet? Because you've got, if you're in this position, you probably have maybe even sort of the resources to sort of make some of these changes. So
yeah,
yeah, I think when you get locked into like, I can't do this anymore. And you guess what? Permission granted if you can't.
yeah.
Go do the thing. Like whatever the thing is, go do it.
Wherever the next thing goes.
Yeah, yeah. But consider the options. You've got them. There's more than you've thought.
So so then how else do you handle I don't know I call like the reverso situation, which is I'm not bored. We change it up every year.
Oh, that's I think like they're like that to me, I've been referring for a long time to entrepreneurship as a spiritual practice for this exact reason. Like if you're creative, you often cause a lot of chaos and you don't really know it.
Hmm.
And it's so hard to imagine that not everybody in the world thinks like you. And if you've done your team building right, you've actually hired people specifically because they don't think like you, and then you have a hard time imagining how they don't think like you. So when you show up and want to create, I mean, the joke I always tell at conferences is like, "Hey, there's a meeting going on back in the office." Like I tell all the advisors, like, there's a meeting, and what they're saying, they've all gotten together and they're saying like, "Hey, she's gonna come home with a bunch of great ideas. If we all stay together, hunker down, it will all blow over in 2 weeks." You know what I mean? Like just stay
Oh,
together. Nobody just
oh,
stay together.
that hits really close to home, Carl.
Oh yeah, I know. Well,
How
believe me, I'm the same way. So yeah, I think I've had to be really, really careful. I'm still really bad at this. If you talk to my wife and anybody on the team here, they'll just be like, we've gone so far as been like, I've got to write up a proposal that has to be presented to the investment committee, which is made up of, my wife and the team. Like it's not anything formal, but
because they're literally
even
just trying to slow you down and put it in.
yeah, just the process of writing it down. So
So
yeah, so I think
so
that's
as
really
someone
important to
who
realize.
has that fun creative drive, is that a helpful mechanism that they have created for you, or does that just aggravate you because you just want to do your thing?
Well, it really aggravates me, but the results I'm producing aggravate me more. The results I'm producing by not doing
Okay.
it, the chaos I've caused, the pain I've caused, the delays I've caused, the money it's cost me more. And I'm still not there yet. Like I still like I did something the other day where I was like, I
Okay.
can't believe I did it again. So I think just realize like what's the in
S-
fact one of my business coaches said to me like go find other go find some friends unrelated to your business that think like you and just make in fact I said this the other day to somebody. I was like, "Hey, let's get together for lunch. I have an idea I'm going to tell you. I want to tell you right now, we are not going to do anything with the idea. When we're done with lunch, no matter what we
Yeah,
say,
right.
no matter what we are leaving, and it's as if and he's like, wait, why can't we do anything? I said, that's the rule. We can't do anything. Like we'll just talk about the idea and then we'll
You just
leave.
need to get the energy of getting it off your chest and having
Yeah, and
someone
you because
to vibe
yeah, because I
with
realized you
about
like
it.
wake yeah, you because you wake up the next day and you're like with this massive hangover, and you're like, I can't do any of the things I just committed to because I'm too busy. And you're like, oh, well, okay, what was the goal of that meeting? Oh, it's just a fun brainstorming activity.
Okay.
So anyway, I think my only point here is put some containers around it, put some guardrails around it, realize it where, because that stuff is incredibly valuable. If you think that way, it's incredibly valuable. The ability to come up with the new ideas, execute 0 to 1 at least, like incredibly valuable. And it's also an agent of chaos if not handled in the right way.
And the trigger point for you was realizing that this actually is not going well for the team around you.
Yeah. Yeah. One time, actually, my COO said, after like 5 years of this, she said, do you know I actually don't like brainstorming? And I was like, she's like, that thing you do where you get all fired up about, and we're going to do this, we're going to do this, do you know I don't like that? And I was literally, this was like 4 years ago. I was like, what are you talking? What do you mean
I
you
feel
don't
like
like
you're
it?
my brainstorming buddy.
What do you mean you don't like? How is that possible? I'd never considered that there were humans that didn't like it. And now I realize those humans are the most valuable people on the planet. Like,
Be- because she's your COO, and every time you say a thing, she's already operationalizing in her brain how to do it.
that's exactly right. And it just causes her stress. And how am I going to get this done now? Like, you say the word green because you're looking out the window. Wow, it's really green. You come back and the entire building is painted green. There's a great, just for those of you who have this problem, do a little Google search. The bear is sticky with honey
The
and watch
bear
that
is sticky with honey. Okay.
video and you will laugh if you relate to this. It will The bear is sticky with honey. Just watch that video. It's essentially the green room problem. Like somebody says green, you come back, the entire room's painted green, you're like, no, 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 I was just looking out the window. It is astonishing to me how careful we need to be with that problem
So good reminder, if you're the one that's breaking your boredom,
by
channel
having new
your energy
ideas.
a
Yeah.
little. If you're the one who's bored out, it's okay to mix it up a little.
Yeah, yeah, and just
Or
play with that
I mean, there
tension,
are
I guess.
alternatives short of transition, sell my practice, transition all my clients away. Like if you're going to
That's right.
transition all
That's
away,
right.
you could transition for someone in your firm too.
Yeah, yeah, you could play. Yeah, what's the third, fourth, fifth option you haven't thought of?
Awesome. Thank you, Carl.
Cheers, Michael. Yeah, super fun.